Do I even remember what to say?
It's been a while.
This is To Wit, a podcast for women in tech doing life. I'm Kristi Campbell.
And I'm Melinda Smith. Hi, friends.
Hello.
Welcome back
I
to
love
the
how
show.
you're like, we need to start recording. We can't just keep talking to each other and not record it.
I know. We really need to get back in a habit of at least a couple of times a month. We haven't recorded since before Southeast Dreamin'. We need
It's
a
been
recap.
Since last quarter.
Yeah, we need to do better.
I mean, we can or we can't. Like, we're okay.
I know. I agree.
mean, yes,
but
we
it's
can
fun
do
too.
better and be more consistent. But we had some life happen. After Southeast Dreamin', there's like a period of not wanting to do anything.
Yeah, because you do all the things.
Tell
us, how was it?
It was great. I think it was our largest yet. And
Ooh.
I really like hearing, just great feedback about people meeting new people or meeting people they've only met on Twitter. And just, the first day we incorporated hands-on trainings this year, which I think were really well received. And the team is just amazing, and I take credit for about 10% of the success because especially this year I just had started pulling back from it a bit. And Stephanie first specifically stepped up and forced and got it done. So
yeah, she did.
In Atlanta, represent. And
whoop, whoop.
Yeah, Amber did a great job corralling the speakers. And Chris is a great support system, and Pecan support, and it's just like, now I have to go through the whole list because now I've got Philip, and then was awesome, and I've got Kelly, who crowd all the sponsors, which is a hard piece.
Oh, that's a thing.
But I think people had good conversations, and we're rebooked for next year. So I probably should have
the circles of success and the hands-on training were a huge success.
Yeah, I really, and it's a great thing of like, okay, well, how can we add more content on Thursday, like, and make a little more valuable for people? Because with Atlanta, with the traffic, people might not come just for a reception, which is totally fine. And then they just come for the full day on Friday. So it was like, okay, but people fly in. We've done the Trailhead-a-thon before, but like, what kind of can we do? And so Amber came up with the hands-on training sessions, and then Pecan was like, we've got this room, let's do circles of success. And just ask Salesforce. And to be able to do a 111 project with one of the local Salesforce contacts was really cool. We did mapping of buildings for a charity I can't remember the name of right now, but it helps women who need to escape from bad situations. Like, it helps track waypoints and things for them. So and you basically really cool. Zoom into a map and you document rows, and it's just like this. It was really interesting, actually. I'll post the link. It's a free, like, Salesforce was working on a specific area, but it's a free project, and then you can just sign in and give your time. So opportunities to do cool stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, it was your first Southeast Dreamin'. What did you think, Melinda?
I had a great time. I liked the circles of success a lot. I thought that was really cool. I was totally going to steal the idea. I'm probably still going to steal the idea. I just don't have time, I think, this year to make it happen. Booked all the space all the time because I booked all of the workshops and then forgot about a couple. So I put them in the ballroom. So I don't have the room for it this year. Hopefully next year someone else will take this part on, because I don't feel like I've been knocking it out of the park at all. But speakers have been notified, people are coming, things are happening.
That's right.
I loved, and I've said this to so many people, so sorry if I repeat myself, but if you're my friend, you know I do this and you have to love me through it. I loved the expo floor because now I'm in a position where that stuff matters. Like before, I didn't scope projects. I they were handed to me and I did the thing. So it was different to go in and say, cool, tell me what you can offer. What do you offer for nonprofits? What can you do for me? What can you help me do for my clients? So it was a whole different arena
Mhm.
to go in and listen to people in a different way. So that honestly was my favorite. The reception and the expo floor was my favorite. I mean, I hit up Mary's session and part of a Pardot session that I was not fully prepared for. They were like ready to dig into, roll up summary fields. And I was like, I don't think I understand what a soft credit is. They were like,
Mm.
super not the content. And I was like, okay, I think I'm holding everyone else back. I'm going to go to the beginner and then maybe try this later. All of it was just so awesome. And the dinner and getting to hang out with people and, a selective few of us had brunch the next day that I turned into like just hanging out with friends and met people at the airport. And it was just, I really, really enjoyed it. And next time I want to see some of Atlanta, but I
Yeah.
didn't. I just saw the Marriott and my
And
friends.
I mean, given the weather in your end that week, I'm happy that you were able to fly at all. So I'll take what I can get.
The bomb cyclone.
Yeah, right? What does that
As
even
a
mean?
it's the wind, I think is it was the whole reasoning. There's like a little bit of snow, but a ton of wind. So like hurricane speeds in a landlocked state. But as a
Interesting.
Coloradan, you get real flippant about weather predictions because they change really quickly with the
Mhm.
mountains. Yes, all weather people, everyone makes a joke, oh, they're all liars. But I mean, it just really changes here really, really fast. So when they're like, this big thing has happened, people will like flood to the store and get all the bread and milk. I'm not sure why that's the go to. Like,
And
I'm
bread.
going for booze and chocolate. I don't get it.
Ah.
Um, what did I say? Did I say bread and milk?
Oh, I just heard the milk part. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, wait, what did I say? So when you hear bomb cyclone, I'm like, whatever, what is that? But it was for real. Like we were out of power for 6 hours. The wind was insanity. And it was like a forced mental health day because I knew that would happen. So I'm like, okay, I've got my backup batteries, I've got my hotspot in my phone. Cool. But the Wi-Fi or the like cell connection, no, it was not awesome.
Mm.
So I couldn't even load anything on my phone, an app. I mean, I had to use my phone for texting and phone calls only like a freaking psychopath.
Ah.
Disgusting.
It's like
It was it was
the flip
gross.
phone days.
Yeah, it was super gross. I felt really weird about it. I laid on the couch and I was like, what do people do? I folded the laundry. I mean, I guess I could read. Seems weird.
I mean, I got a book at the library and I already finished it. Book
I need a
nerds,
good I need
excellent.
a good book again.
Hmm.
I picked up one from my collection and put it next to my bed with my little reading light about 3 months ago.
Okay.
So, I move it sometimes. My
Dust.
reading light is
Mm.
dead. I need to charge it. Anyways, the long and short, yes, I really, really enjoyed Southeast Dreamin'. We're going to take a page from your book, and I guess this is kind of like spoilers. Me, all right, whatever. We usually had two keynotes, and we're not gonna this year. We're just gonna try and
Mm.
streamline a little bit, give people more time for sessions. We did introduce a technical track this year, which we haven't had before. So we're trying to make sure that people have more time. Going to give Pep Up Tech a moment to speak in the beginning. So we just kind of ran out of slots for more speakers. So
Okay.
I mean, I love a good keynote, but I mean, I'm also there to have content and see my friends. So Rakia is our keynote for Saturday.
Mhm.
She's going to rock it. And, we've got the Allies dinner and a keynote then. It's all going to be awesome. But I loved seeing yours in action, and you guys did an awesome job.
Why, thank you. I mean, technically, we had sort of a closing keynote. We had a Q&A
Mhm.
with Wade, which was really really cool. It was nice. Like he literally sat in a chair and was just talking about
Yeah.
the changes that Salesforce is making in Atlanta and um just really cool, like approachable dude. I really liked it.
Who was your opening?
Kevin Portman?
Yeah, so I didn't know who he was. And we were like chatting and had like a mic pack on. So I really thought he was like AV for the hotel. I didn't know. And then he was
No.
like, hey, I might have a cool speaker for you for your witness success. And I was like, cool. who is this dude? Then he gets up there and talks, and I was like, oh, I really wish people wore
Um,
name tags sometimes.
he's
Hey,
like,
dude.
a dev evangelist.
Mhm,
He
mhm,
probably
yeah,
knows some great
super
people that
importante.
could be fun to speak. That's funny.
Yeah,
Speaking
I
of
mean,
which,
huh.
you had a conversation with Mary, huh?
I did. So Mary came to town for a women developer conference,
Mm-hmm.
um, and she was like, "Hey, I have a friend that lives in Denver," and I was like, "Is it me? Say it's me!" So we got to have dinner together, and we talked about everything, life and blah blah blah, and work, and um, we were saying our goodbyes, and I was saying to her, not really what started. I think we were talking about our kids or something. And she made a joke to me because I said, I sometimes I feel guilty about like trying to travel, and I'm trying not to travel too much for the kiddo. And she made a joke that was like, look, I'm home for dinner all the time. I am present for every event, every concert, everything. And she's like, and my kiddo still thinks I work too much. She's like, so
Mm,
you kind of can't win. And we kind of got a laugh out of it that, you got to have the balance, but guilt, don't let guilt take over when you should be proud. And I told her, I
hmm,
try to say to Olive, like if I don't have extra time to snuggle at night because I'm working on something, or I don't have time to do something, instead of telling her I have to work, I try and tell her, I'm working on this really cool thing, or um, I've got this cool problem I'm working on, I want to figure out, or kind of the gist of it is I get
mm,
to work, not like I have to. I don't. If a lot of her young memories are my face in a computer, it's fine as long as she understands that that's the choice I make. I could not work. I could still be a stay-at-home mom. I could. I don't want to. I like working. I like what I do. So it's important for me to convey to her that I choose this. I don't have to. My dad did that a lot when I was younger. Like,
mm,
oh yeah, I'm so tired. But I know my dad well enough now that he's a freaking martyr. Like he brings on more accounts, and he takes on weekend work and then complains about it. So I I don't want to be like that. I mean, I can laugh about it
right.
now, and I
Yeah.
love his work ethic, but I don't want it to be like I have to. I choose to. And I think where that started, sillily enough, it's a freaking word, sillily enough, is from Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, yeah.
It was, yeah, I mean, I don't even know. They're in like the 75th season, but it was early on. And Meredith's character, oh wait, I guess Meredith
Um,
is the character's name. What the hell's the
yes.
actress's name?
Um,
Pompeo?
I've watched
Ellen.
Ellen. There
Uh-huh.
you go.
So she's dropping off her kiddo to her friend, Callie, and is all like boohoo, moody face about it. And her friend was like, "Nope, don't do that. Nope, show her that it's okay and it's good to see mommy succeed and to see mommy go to work and all that." And I was like, this is years before, the kiddo. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm doing that. Like, hell yeah, I get to work. I'm going to show you how mommy can succeed and be, I can be happy and not like I'm torn away from my kid all the time. So
Hmm.
it's just one of those little conscious choices to tell her that I get to work. Or if I need to go work on something, I try to say, I'm working on this cool problem. I really want to figure it out. Or, hey, I've got this client work and I just, and it's a lot of times it's way over her head, but it's important that she knows that I'm not bound by something I don't want to do.
Well, and I think
So
it
that was
helped.
kind of the conversation.
I mean, me not having kids, but it seems like there's probably times when she wants to work on something, whether it's, building a pony tower, I don't know. And,
Yep,
that
pony
you
tower.
want,
That's the
yeah,
thing.
you want her to do something else, right? But it's the same deal. Like I'm working on this thing I want to finish, like relating to those experiences, I guess. Like,
Uh-huh.
hmm. But you
Yep.
then get to
It
tell her,
matters.
like, no, you have to stop and do what I want because you're an adult,
Oh, we won't even
apparently.
talk about transitions with the child.
So I think that's a great kind of thing that you're, like you say, you're consciously working on. You may recall that for Q1, my goal was to um, work on my finances in terms of getting
Mm-hmm.
a habit together. Um, and I will say that I'm better. I will not say that I, made it, but it was really interesting because um, I made it a point to write down after my conversation with my therapist that she was I look at it as, oh, I didn't do what I said I was going to do, or like this is my only goal for Q1 and I didn't get the habit together. And she said, you have to look at a goal as the whole bullseye, the whole target, not just a bullseye. And that,
Mm,
like, maybe you missed this week, right? Maybe you're in the outer ring, but that doesn't mean you didn't get close and that you can't keep trying. Like, that's not a reason to stop. So, like, yes, maybe your goal is 5 days of walking a week and you only do two, but like, that's still 2 points out of the five, that it's not
yeah,
that all or nothing. And I think that is a really, I mean, especially with the axe throwing, right? I've got a good visual of that mentally,
totally.
but just with, it's a good reminder that you're still making progress and things are still better and you're thinking about it. So you're, still making good, you're still
Well,
getting
and it's
there.
like that with like working out too. It's easy
Mhm.
to be like, I do a lot of programs that are time based in a sense, like they're 21 days or they're 6 months or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's easy to like fall off for a day or two. Like we had friends in town and I just kept moving. I moved a day out and then I moved a day out. And at one point in time, I was like, if I'm all screwed up, maybe I'll just start over on Monday and start the program over, which is really what I did because I moved out a day. But essentially, too, it doesn't have to be that dramatic. Like you can fall off the habits wagon or you can fall off the whatever you're doing wagon and still get back on. And it doesn't have to be like a Monday start. Like that's for me, that's a hiccup. Like I am like, if I have messed up my workout days or whatever, and if I'm on like a thing, I was like, okay, I'll just start over on Monday. Or you could just pick up where you left off.
Right.
So but yeah, like the whole all or nothing. Like just because I didn't set the habit 100% doesn't mean I'm not working towards it. And you're conscious of it. Like you're having conversations with yourself about it. That's better than it was last year. That's you're conscientious of, okay, oh shit, I got to go balance. I don't really want to balance, but I need to know where I'm at this month with what's going out and what's coming in. I mean, that's more than before. So I like that. The whole target, not just the bullseye,
That's right.
because
You
we
can
get
make
narrowed in.
progress, not perfection.
Yes. Progress, not perfection.
Look, I mean, it's like I come up with these gems.
So our friends are in town. I posted this on Instagram and it's hilarious. Now, here's the even funnier side note is I just told my mom about it today because it occurred to me that she didn't hear the story and once I tell you, you'll see why. Maybe it wasn't funny at the time.
Okay.
Um So the friends that came out is our couple friends, but I've known them individually for like 20 plus years. I actually went to high school with Alex, though neither
Mhm.
of us remember each other, which is kind of funny. But I worked with both of them at Outback many years ago. So when my stepdad died, so that was about 3 years ago, today is his birthday. So this is why I ended up telling my mom after the celebration of life, which he, in a letter he wrote to my mom, which is another little side note. He had cancer and he went in for like another surgery.
Mhm.
And I think he knew, he kept telling us he was going to be okay, but I think he knew. So he had left a letter for my mom. So I mean, he knew there was a huge chance he was not going to make it out of the surgery, or if he made it out of the surgery, he wasn't going to be okay. So he left my mom a letter, which we found, which was super hard at the time to see and read, but like the kindest thing on the planet.
Mm.
Like he was like,
To go back to it.
it was a pause. I'm like, reel it in. It was like, don't waste your sorrow on me. Like I'm here waiting for you. Go be happy. He said something to each of the kids. It was just so sweet, but it was a really hard time because like my mom, she watched him die. Like he was so sick for a year.
Mhm.
And like when it was time, like he couldn't breathe on his own. And she was like, we take out the breathing tube and you're done basically, or you leave it in. And he hated that thing. So it was just a really traumatic to me because I didn't sit with him for a year. So my mom, yeah, it was hard for her, but I think she had made peace with it
Mm-hmm.
in a different way because she wanted him to not hurt and suffer. So we're at the house, the condo, after the celebration of life, because in his letter, he was insistent. It's not a fucking funeral. It's a celebration of life. Don't call it that. The man was adamant and direct, and he had plans. So we did exactly what he said. So after that, we are back at my mom's condo. And this was in Tacoma at the time. And my friends that came to town, Asia and Alex, are over, and we're drinking, and we're just reminiscing and spending time. And my mom eventually goes to bed, and she's staying up at the time in the loft upstairs, so the rest of us can like sleep downstairs and in the other
Mm-hmm.
rooms. And I have my stepdad Al, his iPod, so I have it on a dock, and I'm like doing interpretive dance while I'm sitting on the floor. And at one point in time, I'm like laying on the floor, like holding the iPod, like this is my connection to him. We're listening to his music, and it's loud. It's like midnight. It's a condo, and my mom's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh keeps saying, "Babe, can you turn it down?" And he turned it down, and I turn it up. Well, I'm just the emotional drunk enough where I'm like, "Don't fucking judge me. Don't judge me." So he was trying really hard to be patient with me until it was like too loud. And he looks at me in a very stern tone and was like, "Melinda, turn down the Billy Ocean." And of course, I turn it down. We all go to bed. Now, the next morning, it's literally all the four of us could talk about. And it was so fucking funny. And we are laughing our asses off because it's silly and it's funny. And he just turned down the Billy Ocean. So it stuck.
Okay.
So that was, 3 years ago. And they came out to visit, and she was like, "I have a present for us." And we're standing in the kitchen. I was like, "Cool. I like presents." And she has one of these
The
like
cutter.
letter cutter thingies that you
Yeah.
can iron on shirts. And she made shirts for all of us that on the front say "Turn Down the," and on the back say "Billy Ocean."
Stop it.
And we all wore them one day to like a farmer's market and kind of a little pub crawl. And what was even more fun about it is that whole day, people would be like, "What does that mean?" And I got to tell them, and we got to laugh, and I got to talk about Al, and it got to be like a silly, fun little moment. And I love her so much for that. I mean, she's such a good friend to me. She loved me through the drug years when I didn't deserve to be loved, at least from her. I was not a good friend. And she held me down when like for a lot of it. So I love her for many reasons, but like most currently, I love her most for these shirts. And I got to tell my mom the story today, and she was cracking up. She's like, "I did not know that story." And I was like, "Well, you were asleep, and it was not really appropriate." Like the next day, like, "Hey, I know your husband
I
just
got
died, but let me
so
tell you this really
drunk.
funny thing."
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Let me just tell you this really funny thing that happened. So and then as time passed, I guess I never told her. I didn't think about it. So that was it last or the weekend before last? And it was hilarious and delightful. And for anybody that has seen my Instagram post, that is the elaborated version. And if not, go check it out, or I can post it
What?
somewhere. I think I can post a picture in the show notes, but I mean, she made ours like all like glittery pink lettering and fun. And then she made the guys like
Manly.
the bold black lettering and on the back. But what we thought was more funny is it just says Billy Ocean on the back. So we thought for sure people were probably thinking like, is he in town? Was there a concert? Did I miss the Billy Ocean concert?
I love it. Are you a concert person in the summertime? Is that coming up
I
for you?
used to be. I'm not so much now because people touch me and I don't like it. They
Hmm.
dance on
Yes.
me. Actually, it's not the touching, it's the
Other
dancing
people
on
do
me.
ruin things. Yeah.
I mean, I can stand in the far back. I went to the Fits and the Tantrums with Josh years ago. We stood way back, little venue, way, way back by the bar. Like nobody's even there. And still, somehow, I got a drunk girl's elbow in my face. And I was like, I am going to lose my mind. So I think I've reached that age where, or maybe it's
Mm.
not an age thing. I guess I've reached the point where I'm like, no, I'm good.
I've reached an age, I think, where I'd rather buy a seat than sit on the lawn.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Like,
not doing that.
yeah,
That's not comfortable. Everything falls asleep.
yes, I'm not a good lawn sitter. And then
Nah.
you can bring certain chairs, but they have to be like a certain, they can't be too tall, or you can rent them, and it just seems hard. So I went with my friends, and by the time I bought a ticket, there was a seat that was cheaper than a lawn seat. So I bought it, and I was like, I'll sit with you the whole time. And then I definitely did not.
Yeah, no. Red Rocks
Bye.
up here
Yeah.
is like bench seating.
Uh-huh.
Let me think here. So it's kind of like first come first serve. If I remember what GA is, but the seats are kind of deep. And I'd
Yeah.
never been at a concert at night, like so I've only done like day stuff there or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I can't remember. I don't know. And so I went with my sister-in-law to something, and people were trying to stand on the bench seat, like, in front of me, and I was like, What is happening?" And she's like, "This is how it is here." I was like, "I'm literally standing right here. How can you just stand right in front of me?" She's like, You gotta, like, elbow in your space." And I was like, But I'm standing in my space. How can you just say, "There's 2 inches in front of your feet. Imma go ahead and stand here." I was like,
Right.
"No." Yeah, so even that, I was like, I don't wanna play anymore." I know
Oh,
that
in
you're
my
in
mind,
a
wait, so
onesie, but
in my in my mind at Red Rocks, it was like benches, and you sat like each row like bleachers.
it is, it's like that, but if you stand up in your bleacher, what you're standing on, which is somebody else's seat, is deep enough where it's a seat, space to walk, and, like, your standing place. So plenty of people are
Mm,
like, "There's plenty of that's
they
enough
just
space.
stood in the
I'm
middle.
not on someone's seat. Yeah, I'm not in your standing space, there's place in the middle." And I was like, "I don't understand what's happening."
Get out of
So,
here.
no, not
Okay.
really a concert goer much.
What's what do you do differently in the summertime that you're excited about? Because I'm ready to drink on patios.
Oh, yes, I love it. My little girl made a list of things she wants to do for the summer,
Okay.
anywhere from like pools to camping. And what's funny is she was like, "Have lunch on a patio," and I was like, "Cool, I've rubbed off on you early. I appreciate that."
I'll come.
Yeah, I typically like bike rides, so we like to ride our beach cruisers everywhere. This last summer we didn't because she's too big for the carrier, but she doesn't know how to ride a bike.
Mhm.
And subsequently, we live on a hill. So even if she did, there was like 2 busy roads, and if we rode down to where we wanna go, she is not gonna make it up the hill. So
Mhm.
I don't know how we're gonna work that this year. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Isn't
Different in
there like a
summer.
carrier thing you can put behind your bike? I don't know how big. I don't know how children work. I don't know why I'm trying to help here.
No, there is. It's just and we might institute that for when we wanna go somewhere. Because even if she was a really great bike rider,
Yeah.
I mean, it's busy and
Mhm.
she's 6. 6-year-olds are
And maybe you could put her
they're
back
dumb.
there. You can put her back there with Felix.
Aw, the little pup.
We didn't get
My
there
little
yet, but
menace.
maybe it's time for super faves.
He's such a little menace. Oh, and he's my super fave, so we'll come back to that. But I wanna talk about relax for the same result.
Okay.
You sent me an article,
I did.
and I wanted to touch on it before we leave into
It was
super faves.
interesting. So it's written by this. I actually don't. I feel like someone posted it on LinkedIn, one of the groups that I'm in, or who even knows, Facebook maybe. But somewhere on the internet, I found this article,
Mhm, mhm.
and it was a man who talks about this bike ride that he would take every day, and that he would like go for it, and it took 43 minutes, and then one day he decided to like enjoy it and slow down and see it. He's in like Santa Barbara, I think, so like see the seagulls and notice the buildings that you're driving by and how they've changed and the people. And it took 45 minutes. So in our minds, I think we think that things will take so much longer if we don't. I don't know. Again, I think it's kind of about that mentality change, right? Like, yes, you have to work, or yes, you have to ride the bike to get to the place or something, but like or yes, you have to drive the drive, but how you approach that,
Totally.
and how you can kind of still get to the destination, but notice things more and feel better, probably,
Well,
right?
putting
Not
less
like,
pressure about it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
I mean,
sense.
that was
I'm
really the
I'm a
message.
I'm a huge, huge, um, what's the word I'm
Proponent,
looking for? I do that.
proponent,
No, I do the
fan,
bad thing. I'm a I'm
oh,
a I'm a
hurrier,
robber.
rusher.
I don't. I'm cutting this all out. It's stupid. Anyways, I do that. I'm like, I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna do it faster. I'm gonna be done quicker, and I move on to the next thing. I'm gonna check things off a list. Everything is great,
I'm changing
but
lanes,
yeah, doesn't
getting
need to
speeding
be that
tickets.
drama. I try to do that even just in like morning workouts, like go, 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 15 reps, or stop, relax, focus on your breathing, focus on what you're working on, focus on your form, and just chill out for a second. Like you're
Yeah,
not
and
going to get anything more accomplished in a faster rep than you do in a more conscious rep kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. But it's
I like
interesting
that.
how hard it is to think like that you do have to kind of stop and think about it, right? That it's
Hmm.
like, why am I so worried about it?
I
Why?
mean, to get it done faster,
I
move on to the
mean,
next thing.
well, yeah, but the next thing's still going to be there if I take 2 more minutes, right? Like that's the thing too. I think it's not like are you really saving enough time to do anything with it? Or you just want to do it faster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but faster isn't better always. Yeah, I like that. I like that he was like, look, I took the same goddamn bike ride 2 minutes later and I actually enjoyed myself.
Mm-hmm. And didn't have to, like shower from being sweaty and trying so hard.
Well, it's like a
Recover.
form of meditation. Like
Mm.
just enjoying your moment, enjoying the ride, enjoying the thing, and like coming away from it like, cool, I'm ready to start my day. Then like, okay, I got here and I got to do this and I got to change my clothes. Like you can get all wound up about traffic like that way too, instead of like, oh, okay,
Yes.
it's cool. I listen to
Yep.
really cool podcasts. I'm chill,
Yep.
brush my
I'm
teeth
in
in the
my
car.
nice personal climate zone.
Personal climate zone.
I can turn it
So
up, turn it down,
I did this
whatever I
thing.
want. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, you ready?
I don't know. Am I?
Eye movement desensitization. Wait, desensitization and reprocessing, also known as EMDR.
I like that you made made a list or looked at what it's called.
Yes. Well, I kept calling it
Wrote it
EDMR,
down.
so I'm wrong. Um,
Tell me
okay,
about it.
so I started the the therapies. Started
The
the
therapist.
therapies with the therapist, and she has suggested this early on, and I actually did it this last Saturday. And I usually don't go in on a Saturday, but I was trying to like squeeze it in between paychecks and people being in town, so I was like, Saturday works. And we are working on past like growing up with a bad stepfather type thing.
Okay.
So we did the thing and it's different and I think I feel better. It's weird. So she's like, I'm
Okay.
gonna she
I'm
goes,
gonna
I'm
need
gonna
some
hand you these
details
two
here.
things. Yeah, yeah. So the whole thought process is like your brain knows a thing, but you like your emotions feel differently. So even though your brain's like, hey, that's dumb, I shouldn't feel this way about blah blah blah, I process this, you'll still have an emotional reaction to something that triggers something.
Mm.
And I'm struggling with some of the ways I was raised, from this particular person, not the man I talked about, not turn down the Billy Ocean Al. He was amazing. He didn't come into my life until I was 18. So the person that was around from 3 to 17. So I'm working on it because I get a lot of weird little triggers when it comes to being a parent. So I'm like, ooh, shit, I got to deal with that. So she's talked about this. So she's like, okay, I'm going to hand you these two little things that are electrodes. And I was like, oh, is this Scientology? Because I've gone before and I'm not on board. And she started laughing. She's like, no. And I said, well, I'm just saying, had you ever been, you do hold some rods. This is a little different. So you'll
Okay.
go into like a memory or go into a thing, and it's like a pulse in each hand. And it's like talks to the hemispheres of your brain and gets them do something differently, do a thing differently. So
Okay.
and I'm not in the mood. It's Saturday morning. I don't do this on Saturday morning. And it's always like this, like
I
the
don't wanna
moments that I'm like,
remap my synapses.
ugh, I just want to sit and have coffee and watch like, I don't know, last night's Daily Show.
HGTV? Oh,
Yeah, or something. And it's not like I forgot, but I kind of did. And I was like, oh, I gotta go do this thing. And I go in there and I'm just like a skosh tired. We just got the puppy, so he hadn't slept through the night. And I considered canceling. And I was like,
mm.
no, if I don't give 24 hours, she'll charge me. So I get there and the gates closed to the parking lot. I was like, sweet, I'm locked out. Awesome. I don't have to do this. And I call and she calls me and she doesn't answer. And I was like, fucking awesome. I don't have to do therapy and it's not my fault. And she called right back. She was like, it just occurred to me that you've never been here on a weekend. You need the gate code. And I was like, yeah, I need the gate code. Give me the gate code. so, um, so we did the thing and we would talk and then she would say like, be in this memory and then close your eyes, breathe for 30 seconds and then hold the electrode thingies or this like little rubber thingies. And at the end, I told her, I was like, do I chat with you through this? I was like, what are the rules? She's like, well, there's not rules. So it was good. It was hard. Like, this is the first time in all the years that I've dipped my toe in therapy, got what I
Okay.
need for a couple sessions and then get the fuck out because I don't want to do it. Then I'm like doing the work and it's fucking hard, man. It sucks. But
So, I'm so intrigued. So, like, you're electrically trying to change the mapping of your associations to a memory?
yeah, so, like, we're gonna go in and stop having, like, an intense reaction to it. It is how I understood it. It was a really intense session, so I probably need to ask her again what we're aiming for. I had no intent. I was not even in the mood to be there, let alone fall apart at the seams and use, like, 75 tissues. It was not
Uh,
so I will ask and I will come back on the next iPod. What is wrong with me? On the next podcast and then tell you like the goal. But the goal is yes, like to help have like remap and like you said, uh,
like, create
like
form new
connection. So I
associations.
yes, so I don't have
Mhm.
such a deep trigger to things. And it's hard. Like I got to tell you, and I'll tell everyone listening, it's really hard.
Mhm.
I am a put together person. I'm a strong person. I have a good life. I'm happy. Yes, I've done some dark things. We all have. Maybe not all. Maybe some more than others. But it's hard when someone tells you, hey, that sounds like trauma or that sounds like abuse. Those are big words. They're scary to me and I don't like them. And I have a hard time hearing that. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. She's like,
Well,
but
and
what
sometimes it feels a little disingenuous to sort of it's a tough balance of blaming the past for your current actions versus like learned behaviors like you're saying and like reactions that are based in something that because sometimes it's like think about your 5-year-old self. It's like shut up,
talk to that
but
child inside.
yeah,
She's a dick.
no,
I don't want to talk
like
to her.
I didn't eat a baby, like child inside, like calm down. But
Right?
yeah, so but I think it's about the right approach to it too.
This
And
therapist is awesome. She talks to me. It's not like listen, 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 next meeting.
yeah.
She like chats with me and gives me anecdotal advice or things that she's experienced or not necessarily her other clients. Like she doesn't divulge information, but like, oh, I can relate
Right.
to that. Like how, or I've seen other people that are like this. And I'm like, wow, this is the first time someone's talked to me. But I mean, I wouldn't have done this work, but as Olive is growing and she is headstrong and hard sometimes, I see little things that I'm like, why am I acting that way? Or why am I have this like I feel like I've been punched in my solar plexus about something silly when she's
Mhm.
fine. And I was like, all right, let's do the work. But I I mean, if it weren't for my kiddo, I probably wouldn't. And like I don't think I'd be worse off for not doing it. But it's difficult. It's hard. It's weird. I told her. I think the biggest thing I took away from Saturday is I have a chunk of 13 years of I think about like the last Avengers movie or like a bad movie where like someone fades away or like Back to the Future where he like fades away in a picture. I have like distinct memories where this guy is just gone and I have years of like I just don't remember things and I don't remember him. And so I was telling her I thought I was being like, this is kind of funny. I was like, it's kind of funny that I don't remember things. And she smiles at me and she's like, yeah, that's a pretty big indication there's been trauma. And I was like, oh, I was trying to make
Uh,
you laugh.
uh,
I was trying to be funny and make you laugh. And she's like, yeah, if you told me nothing and you told me there's years you don't remember, that's a problem. And I was like, I mean, who remembers things when they're like, 7 and 9? She's like, everybody.
people.
Cool.
People
Cool, cool,
do.
cool, 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 cool. Cool, 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 cool,
Cool.
cool.
Let's keep talking about that. Well, it's funny because if anything, I feel like parenting is a weird, like I don't have a relational thing. I will say it's nice to be in a relationship where I can talk about the things that are on my mind and like have someone to call and be like, am I just being an asshole or like do I have a right to be annoyed about this? And the
Yeah.
answer was I was just being an asshole. So that's fine. Good to know. But also if anybody is listening and either hasn't found the right therapist or doesn't think they need therapy, maybe like I feel like we're the poster children of like how much the right therapist makes a difference. And I'm sure we've talked about it before, but like
It does.
I I actually talked to my therapist because she was like, "Did I diagnose you?" And I'm like, "I don't remember, but you were the first person who validated like, oh, check, check, check. Yeah, you totally have ADD." And it was like, "Yes." And so
Yeah.
yeah, just finding the right person. That was going through, a good few, especially with depression. It's hard to like motivate yourself to find someone new. Um,
Well, and it's
and
everyone is going to give what they want to give. I have been, met a half a dozen therapists because of a thing, a reason. Typically in the past, it was boy stuff. Like I was struggling with, why do I choose, men that want to be shitty to me? Or why do I feel like I need to, be a different version of myself? So I'd go for the thing. I'd have a couple sessions. And I'm like, cool, I feel better. I talk to this person. And then
cool,
I would
cool,
come up with
cool,
a
cool, cool.
reason. Cool, 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 cool,
Yeah.
cool. You charge too much. I didn't like where your office smelled. You were late. And that's it. Boom, you're done. Yeah,
Interesting. My
you're
mine
done.
was a little bit more I just don't feel like we were talking about the same things, but I don't honestly, I don't think they were calling me out on my shit. That, like, not
Yeah,
that I wasn't changing anything, like, it's not
yeah,
as enough. So, I remember in one session, I was talking about, like, my, my email inbox being so full and the anxiety that gives me, but then I'm like, on the hierarchy of needs, that is so low. Like, how did I get here? And I still don't feel better about the other crap, So some of it's just personality and the right but, like, also I can see what you're saying of the right goals. Like when I wasn't really happy in my relationship and I didn't fully want to acknowledge that, then like if we started going too much in that direction, I'd try and be like, no, let's focus on me things, but really we can't do that
yeah.
if the we things aren't good either. So
Well,
um
and like our diatribe of this is like, being vulnerable to say, dude, the shit's hard. And everyone has shit and it's hard and nobody comes out unscathed. And that's really hard as a parent to know. I'm not creating, well, at least right now, I'm not creating an environment like I was raised in. But no, all of it isn't going to come out unscathed. Something's going to
mm-mm.
like just going to need
Sure.
something, and that's I think extra hard to kind of digest. That it's, but it's all okay too. But I mean, I guess I just want anyone to know with us being so vocal about it that it's okay and it's okay to piss off as in fuck you, piss off like I don't want to talk to you anymore and find someone new.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to be like, I'm not fucking ready and I'm going to do it when I can. And it's also to be like, okay, I can do the thing and like do the work. And you don't have to have a trauma or a thing or a blah, blah, blah to still need an unbiased party to hear your shit. Like it's still nice to have a person to reach out to and say, I feel frayed at the edges, or I feel overwhelmed at life and I should be grateful. I have my health. I have my family. I have a great job. I have all these great
Mm,
things going on and I feel off. Like it's okay to say, you know what? I'm fine. I just need some sunshine. I just need a girls' night. Okay, true. But it's also okay to say, yeah, but you don't have to have a big, huge thing, a diagnosis, a problem that to just reach out to someone. I
yeah.
mean,
I
we all take care of ourselves in other ways.
I think yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm a fan. Except I'm in more of like a every other month quarterly cycle, which I feel pretty good about. Um but yes,
But
you
you
said the
were
word
more
should.
before.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I'm
Oh,
that's taken work to get there, right? But like
I mean,
and still like I'm still learning things. So I've not graduated either. Don't
I'm
think that's
twice a month.
happening.
I would probably do more, but she's expensive. Insurance doesn't cover it, or she doesn't take insurance. And apparently, we're in the Scientology phase, so I'm working on it. We're holding some
Mm-hmm.
rods. We're shooting me with some electrodes. Soon, I'm going to
Do
be
we
on
need
the
a safe word?
bridge. I'm going to be on the bridge. I'm going to see L. Ron Hubbard. It's going to be amazing.
You
I'm
know
pretty
way
excited
too many
about it.
things about Scientology, I think, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it fascinated me back in the day, and I went before, and so I mean, that's a whole nother Oprah. But
Okay.
we'll talk about another one. But I had an
Hmm.
interest in theology and I considered going to the School of Theology here in Colorado because religion is very fascinating to me. But
Mm-hmm.
it appeared to me that school was really kind of prepping you for like being in like the priesthood or something. And I was like, well, no, I just
Mm-hmm.
really want to learn. So I was like, well, if I don't do that, then what? Then I learn to be a professor, which I was like, I don't think you just go to school to be a professor. Like there's a thing in between that you do. So I didn't do it. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll talk about it in some other one. I mean, religion in general is very fascinating and interesting to me.
Hmm.
So I did learn about it, and I also have watched Leah Remini. Is that her? Yeah, I think I said that right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
but yeah,
like it.
we'll call it. Oh, I snorted.
Oh,
Wow. I don't
a
even know why
whole
I wasn't even laughing.
a
It was an
whole nother
aggressive
Oprah.
breath. Oh
Tell
my God.
me, tell me your super fave, Melinda.
I watched Shrill
Okay, so
on
is that a show? Is it a movie? I've
Netflix.
been sitting
It
looking
was
at this
a
word and wondering.
Netflix. Oh shit. Was it Hulu? God damn it. Now I don't remember. It's like a 6-part series with Adie Bryant from SNL, who I adore.
Mm.
And it is well done. It is a little younger than my demographic, but I love her. I love the comedy. I love the body awareness and the
Mm.
thing like she's a oh, it's important. Takes place in Portland. So she kind of digs her heels in and won't allow the writer of the paper, I'm sorry, the owner of the paper to treat her like shit because she's heavier than like some of the other girls. It's all about body
Mm-hmm.
positivity and the shit that she goes through, and she's an amazing actress, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I feel like it gave light to a lot of issues that um like a lot of people that are heavier that probably have to deal with. Jamila Jamil, if I'm getting her name right, she's an actress on The Good Place. She tweets out and Instagrams out a lot of body positivity, and she talks about a lot of the shame and the discrimination that comes with it. And she, people are like, oh, people are just unhealthy. They need to get their shit together. And she's like, if you don't think that people are discriminated against, like people don't get health care on time, or they're sitting in waiting rooms because they're like, they're discriminated against. Like whatever your
Hmm.
issue is not diagnosed properly because the doctor's like, oh, you're just fat. So I just feel like it was really well done and really beautiful. And aside from that, it's really freaking funny because it's Adie Bryant and she's hilarious.
I
It was
like
good.
that. The correct answer is Hulu, and
Thank you.
I'm just googling right and hearing the show flipping the script on fat and millennial, and an unapologetic view of embracing self worth,
Yeah, and
based
fat
on
does not equal
a
unhealthy.
book.
And like people just won't fucking get that. Like it's not mutually exclusive. And I love the
Hmm.
way she does it. And there's moments of heartfelt and like hurt, but most of it is very eye-opening in the sense that she's like kind of, I don't want to say coming of age because it sounds a little cheesy,
Mhm.
but it's really well done and she's hilarious.
Well, I have access to Hulu on your account, so I will watch it.
Weird. From who?
Interesting. So I was fortunate to go to a beach house this weekend, and it just reinforces my love for
Beach
the
houses.
season. Well, that, but the season of off leash dog beach life. So it's a little bit cold, right? So obviously we didn't sit and get in the water, but like he gets to run around and like eat the salt water and get confused and like, dig
This
in
is water,
sand.
but it's so salty. This is water, but it's
Yeah,
so
and just
salty.
like run around and it's a quieter, right? There's people, it's more like, wintertime beach, but it was March. So I mean I'm sorry, just kidding. It's April. Haha. Um
It doesn't matter.
warmer and sunny and but less people. So it was really nice. Um,
I can't
so that
wait.
was second dog beach adventure, and it was good.
My
So there you
puppy's too
go. That
little
was
right
my
now.
fave. Mm-hmm.
I
To be
lose him
out in
in
the
the living
world.
room. I'm not taking him to, the waves yet. So we're going to Hawaii in July.
Mm-mm.
And so I was like, you can take the dog. And I was like, for so many reasons, no, no, he
What?
can't be on a plane.
That's a dumb
They,
question. Sorry.
well, yeah, and you have to quarantine them to take him to Hawaii, much like
But
I'm
like, why
guessing
would you
anywhere
want to
else out of
take
the
your
country.
dog on your Hawaii beach vacation?
Yeah. Well, I'm taking my
Like, that
kid.
sounds
It's kind of the
awful.
same. I mean,
Eh,
I'm taking her. It's does sound kind of awful.
she doesn't
Oh,
pee on the
speaking of
carpet.
kind of funny, so we're staying at my aunt and uncle's bed and breakfast. So they have a cottage and they have two apartments, and then they live up top. So I'm going with my
What?
mom and my sister and my stepsister and her husband. So we're kind of taking over the whole B&B. And he's given us family pricing, which it's actually really good. But he sends an email that was like, hey, I hope the kids know, to my mom, so me and my stepsister and the spouses, that we have a new neighbor and we don't want it to be loud, and we're reapplying for our B&B cert, so everyone needs to keep it down. And I started laughing and I texted Asia and I was like, I just got told to turn down the Billy Ocean before I even fucking got there. And she was like, good luck with that. And I was like, God damn, I haven't even gotten there yet. I'm not going to get all crazy. It's Maui. Like, I am going to relax. But yeah, so we got to keep it down already
Mm.
in April for
Don't ruin
July.
our don't ruin our Airbnb license, please.
I mean, the guy's known me since I was 13. So, I mean, though in my defense, this is the same guy that told me in the 90s, hey, Mindy, just remember, as long as you have checks, you have money. This is my Uncle Rick. I was like,
I don't think that's how that works.
no, hey, but in the 90s, it kind of did. That's not right. I
So
didn't kite checks, whatever.
hopefully people follow you on whatever channels now and have seen pictures of your adorable puppy, but he's still your super fave.
He
So let's talk about
is.
Felix the
Okay,
dog.
so I've never had a puppy. Actually, never had a dog until I got married. When Josh and I got married, I tell this all the time, I got a house and a dog. Like, I married up. It's really great for me. But Amy, which is a short nickname for Amaris, which is Gaelic
Mhm.
for something, Amahaurs. Love, faith, I don't know. Anyways, so Amy was 9, or I'm sorry, 7, and he was just great border
Border
collie
collie.
shepherd mix, border collie, and he was a great dog, and he was so well mannered and so smart that I'm like, wow, I really like dogs. So we had him until he passed away in California, and we've been kind of toying with the idea. So I was like, oh, Josh is such an animal lover. And so is his sister and his mom. Like, I mean, surrounded by animal lovers. So I was like, oh, you are going to want a rescue. So I was like, should we look at rescues? And he said, no, I want a puppy because I want to train him again. When he got his dog, he went to the shelter and there was a dog that happened to be pregnant. And so he got Amy from the beginning and trained him, took him
Mm.
everywhere. And I mean, Amy would let children climb on him and pull his ears, and he never said a peep. He did not overly bark. He was well mannered. He was an off the leash dog.
Mhm.
Like you could say, Amy, walk to the fence, and he would, with like no change in your tone. It was very, very interesting to me. So he's like, no, I want a puppy again. So we were kind of toying with the idea, but all these dogs were like $500 and $600. I was like, I don't want a dog that much. That's expensive. Plus all the stuff you got to
Mhm.
buy. I got to like add dog food to my budget. And we were, I don't know, dinking around last week, and he found a Craigslist ad for a collie shepherd mix. And this guy that lives out on like 5,000 acres, like an hour and a half or so south, he has a couple, he lives on a farm, so he has a couple collie shepherd, herding dogs, and every couple of years they have a litter. And he just didn't care about like trying to get people for money. He's like, I've got a litter of 7, 5 are left. They're like 300 each. And we looked at the pictures. So then we met him,
Mm.
and he brought the little carrier with 5 pups. And Josh wanted a boy. I don't know anything about dogs. So I was like,
Mhm.
well, he's like, we're going to get a boy. I'm like, okay. And this one with little freckled noses, like it just freckles on his belly and freckles on his nose, let me pick him up. And he just kind of nuzzled in. And I was like, this one's
Mm.
mine.
Oh.
And I told the guy, I said, so just like, I just take him? And he's like, well, yeah. And I said, it's weird. Like, I'm in a parking lot. I just took a living being from your car, and you're like, cool, go. I was like, this feels real weird to
I
me.
mean, you probably gave money, but yes.
I did, but felt very like, some kind
Is there
of
a paper?
Discovery Channel, like, what is happening here? Like, should this be filmed? I'm doing the right thing, right?
Why
And
did
then
you
he
name
came
him
home.
Felix?
Josh and I were trying to think of fun names. So we were like Finn, Felix. All I wanted before she knew we had a
Well,
dog, she likes to make up crazy names. And I was some weird, crazy name. And I was like, well, honey, that's too hard. Like a dog needs to be simple syllables that you can call them. She's like, well, if we get a dog, I want to name it Susan. I was like, I gotta name our dog Susan. I'm like Karen,
sometimes
like get a Karen.
I don't
So
like dogs with people names, so I'm happy you didn't do that.
so we were trying to think of stuff, and we liked Finn for a little bit. It's simple, and Josh liked Felix, and I like it the X in the name. So I don't know, just once again, Josh named the small ones in our life.
Olive and Felix.
And and what I love most, and I'll tell you guys, is I really love because he'll let me hold him and he'll nuzzle into my little neck, but he doesn't do it for anyone else but me. And
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, for sure. He would pick you. I like it.
Oh, he's so sweet. I mean, he's been a shit this week. Well, not this week, this last 2 days. He likes to look directly in my eyeballs, put his ears back, and then pee on the floor. I was like, what is happening? I just took you outside. But he's a baby.
Rude.
He's a baby.
Um, my dog's about to turn 10. Not talking about it.
Axel's
So,
amazing.
Axel's the best. I
Axel's
like it.
freaking awesome.
And in terms of like secrets we liked, I like that other people think my dog is the best because I know that everyone thinks their own dog is the best, and I get it. But like some people's dogs are ugly or dumb, right? But like my dog is the best. And
Axel's amazing. I love
other
Axel
people
so much.
other people objectively think he's the best, so it makes me happy.
Yes,
Um so if you're looking for a new book to read, which I feel like you mentioned earlier,
I am.
um, I just want to
Please.
say I am a book nerd, and my
Mm-hmm.
friend and I started book club, which is like 30% book and the rest is like wine and chatting, which is exactly perfect mix. That's not a
100%.
complaint.
Is this the
And
one
but
still that you got the books from the library for the group of
yes.
you? Oh,
Yes,
nice.
and then oh, yes, except we're not doing that anymore. You get the book by yourself. It was too hard to herd the cats and get the things and bleh.
Yeah,
So,
sounds like a lot of responsibility. I'm not in for
yeah,
it.
and I no one yeah, no. And then to get them back, like, on time is hard. So, my friend was like, have you read Nine Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty, who wrote Big Little Lies? I don't know if you've seen the show with
Oh,
Reese Witherspoon,
yes.
Nicole Kidman. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's gonna be a second season
So
coming out June 9th. And so she's like, have you read Nine Perfect Strangers? I was like, no, but it's on my want to read list. And she was like, please read it so we can talk about it. And
Yes.
so I did. I got at the library and it came in. And as soon as I texted her, she called me and we talked about it for half an hour. But it's really interesting just how like it took us down really interesting conversational paths of like things about our life, like kind of spawned by things in the book. So it's I mean, if you like, it's funny, we also were talking about like her books are not a lot the same, all of them. So it's not like Danielle
The
Steele,
author?
right, where you, yeah, yeah, like it's not like, oh, I've read one and now I'm reading another, like a, a
Yeah,
Lee Child
Danielle
book,
Steele was
like
like that.
they're
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Lee Child
basically
is
the
like that
same.
too.
Yes. So like her books are different, but good character development and like interesting. Yeah, it like, and like a surprise even at the end, so
Oh,
yeah, it
yes.
was
I
real
want to
good.
watch
So
it. Well, I mean,
there
it's
you
no
go.
different than people dishing over shows. Like, I have a work Slack channel called Game of Thrones. We talk
That's
about it there.
hilarious.
Like, I've had like arguments. I had like a tete-a-tete with a girlfriend today. I was like, oh my gosh, we need to talk about the last episode. She's like, why? Nothing happened. And I was like, ugh, what do you mean nothing happened? I was like, there was some build, there was relationships, there were things that happened. She was like, I need action. And I was like, I have had it with you. Like, we were done for today.
I It's so funny about Game of Thrones too because I watched it a day late. What? And
Same. Oh, no, no.
like
I lied. I don't know why I just said that. I never,
I mean, you just want to
just
identify
shut up,
with me.
Melinda. Please.
Um
I just want to be
but
with
yeah,
you.
I'm more I'm more on the, it wasn't the hugest episode, but it was very like relationshipy and like people being in the same place when they haven't been for years and
Yes.
like
Can I
gonna
just
kill
have a
each
moment with
other.
my favorite characters that are all gonna die next episode, please? Like, I just want to spend
Yes.
a moment. And I love what's his name, Tormund. He's like, "Is the big woman still here?" Just he kills me so much.
Did you see the meme of that?
Yes,
It was like me at a drag
he's
show.
actually real funny on Instagram. BT Dubs.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, clearly we could talk about that too, but we won't because there's plenty of Game of Thrones podcasts you could go listen to. But I think hopefully you've enjoyed this foray back into us taking longer than we mean to when we are going to record. And stay witty.
Whoop whoop. What the fuck was that?